in first. Man, tell from me, I'm gonna sue.
Hello, my name is Kate. I have been running this panel since 2018, and we usually have the same few folks, but I'm sure you'll notice that the people who are up here are not the same people who are in the agenda. Jess, Raven, and Aubrey could not make it, so thank you to Ashley, Jane, and Jason for jumping in literally this week. So raise your hand if you've been to this panel before, just so I have a general idea. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for coming. Welcome back. We have about 90 minutes together, so we'll do some introductions. We'll go over our wrestling thoughts and feelings, and then we'll open up the floor for any Q&A. So we'll start off with introductions. Ashley, if you want to go first.
Can everyone hear me? My name is Ashley She/Her. I am the owner of upcoming blog Nerdy Bebop, and I've been into wrestling since 5th grade, and I like booty cheeks.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Maki, she/her. I am a cosplayer, burlesque performer, burlesque producer. I do a lot of things up and down in this part. I've been into wrestling since the Ho Train days, and yeah. So I've loved wrestling a long time, and I'm real happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Jane. I got into wrestling a little later in life. I believe like 2012, I think, but I had only like dabbled in like the what was going on before that I watched. So I'm just happy to be here, and I can't now. I'm in wrestling, and I can't get out of this hole. Help me!
I'm Jason, he, him. I've been watching wrestling since I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, so like over 20 years. Big into wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan. I watch almost everything as I can. I love it. I love this stuff. I may have had something in the trailer before.
And again, I'm Kate, she, her. I'm a graphic designer and zine star. I've been a wrestling fan since 1997. And yeah, I've been doing this panel. I do zines, I do all the wrestling and other things, so. So let's jump in. I gathered a couple topics. Admittedly, I will say that my partner and I got rid of our cable about 6-7 months ago, so I've been watching wrestling through like social media and the occasional pay-per-view, so this is very surface level of what I could gather and what I knew about, so we'll pick some things. If nobody's interested in talking about the thing, we can talk about something else, but I figure we could jump around as needed. So where would we want to start?
Ooh.
Where do we start?
What do you guys want to talk about?
I could blindly pick one and we can go from there.
Let's go. Where are we going?
All right, let's go with, you know what?
Gender. Let's talk about, because this leads into a whole other person on this thing as well. So who here is familiar with Jinder Mahal? Yeah. All right. So for those who don't know, listen. Jim Johnston went hard in that.
That shit, come on.
I'm like, oh, hold up, wait, what? We going hard? Listen, Jinder Mahal, most people would say he is a quote unquote a jobber, which is the dude who's just going to do his job and lose the match. But in this house, we do not hinder gender. And in this house, Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion. Up there with the greats like Bruno Sammartino and The Rock and everything. But everyone, you know, the way things are done, people, you know, have control of booking. So he's not really been doing all that special in the past 8 years, you know, since he won the title. He didn't have the greatest title run, but he still won the title. So we're bringing him up because 2 weeks ago he returns, right? And they're like, there's a big former champion returning to WWE. And everyone, he comes out and you just hear the air just sucked out the room. And everyone's like, are you serious? Everyone thought it was gonna be so many, it could have been Andrade, could have been, it was just all these things that people thought it was gonna be, and it's Jinder. And I'm just like, you know, this is hilarious, that's my boy, I love it, I don't care. And then 2 minutes later, The Rock shows up, and everyone's like, oh, wow, The Rock! And then it's just like, okay, cool, where did we go with this, you know? And then the next week, Jinder's in a whole program with the world champion, Seth Rollins. So it's like, all right, you know, my boy's back on top. Good, we like that. We all love that, right? And then all of a sudden, another man on this pic. we went 3 pictures in a row with
Look at
this.
you, I'm
we
impressed.
went from Jinder to The Rock to my boy in this looking like Prince right here, Tony Khan. Now, if you are unfamiliar, Tony Khan is the owner, man who runs AEW, the rival promotion.
Who needs to get off of Twitter
The
for
man-
just a little bit?
Listen, this man is so gotten to, and it's amazing to me how gotten to this man is. He is so rich. He has money. Why are you over an internet comment that the USA Network made because you rate things on a random website that wrestling nerds follow? And then he just goes on a tirade and acts Jinder and acts people. He's like, well, why are people getting mad at my people who are getting a title shot when Jinder hasn't even won a match in years? And I'm just like,
Who are people?
The internet.
The sad internet people who never see life. It's very,
I'm like, sir,
it's very strange.
They can get mad here, so
you have your own show to run. Why are you focused on this man? And now because of that, his stock has risen. So why would you do that? Who does that help? It helps Jinder, obviously.
Jinder Mahal, our age.
Gender, because we don't hinder gender in this house, like I said. But Tony Khan is so gotten to.
He doesn't understand.
And I feel like he thinks like he's one of the, again, he's a wrestling fan. He is very much a wrestling fan.
What a mark.
He's such a wrestling fan that he forgets that he is also a billionaire.
in a public figure,
Public figure. So if you're going on,
and the face of a company.
if you're going on X, formerly known as Twitter, he is going
It's
to.
Twitter. It's the Bird app.
That's what the guys say on the socials. But if you are, as a company owner, going onto a social media website that millions of people use to complain about a man on a rival promotion, why? What does that help? Who does that help? That doesn't make your brand look
I
good.
can think of a few things that Tony Khan could be doing with his time.
Oh.
The women's division, for one.
Oh.
We could really be talking about that while you're on Twitter.
But we
just
have to
talking
talk about how gender
everything else.
hasn't won. We have to talk about him though.
And then brought a Hook into it. Like,
Why?
why'd you bring Hook into it? Like, and the thing that gets me is how you got a sanction against your wrestler doing this shit on the internet, but you're doing it on the internet. Make it make sense.
Isn't that what
Does Vince do that?
Not on the internet.
He is
Does
not.
Vince McMahon know how to use the
Yeah,
internet?
Not the internet though.
There
It's
are-
like do as I say, but not what I do.
Yeah, but I feel But the internet slinging, that's nothing. Vince McMahon would never.
Well, of course not, because he's slinging other things.
This is why we started at 11:30.
No, hell no. Hell.
But legit, yeah, we bring up a good point. Why are we not focusing? You're focusing on Jinder Mahal, not your actual women's
Right.
division.
And the shit that you've gone through, I don't know, for the past couple of months with the fighting backstage and
Yes.
everything else.
Create a standard for your company before you come for the other company. There are things to come for WWE for, but you gotta create a standard for your own company first. And I just see a bunch of people just in the back, just, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then when it's time to wrestle, we wrestle, but then afterwards it's like,
Literally, like, out of all the things that could have
Get him a
for the
clown
people,
car.
because if he wanted to get involved with the, like, what WWE was doing with Jinder, he could have said, like, hey guys, I understand Jinder wasn't the guy that you thought, but he still deserves some respect. Clap for him. He didn't have to come out here. He doesn't have to wrestle. He doesn't have to be a part of anything, breaking his bones, being away from his family. At least clap for the man because of what he's done and what he could be doing
Right.
and who he could be helping. Because let's be clear, it's like WWE to me doesn't seem like they have like obviously no long-term big plans for Jinder, but at least he could be helping like get like doing what vets do, getting other people over, being there to like show like, oh look how Seth Rollins had to like think off his feet and do this because Jinder can do this. He can push like the new people who are going to be up, so he still has some good use. Give him respect. Don't just be staring at him like, why are you here? And it's like, well, why are you here? You pay money.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Whew, that was
That's a lot
that was
for.
a good start.
That was a good start.
What a weekend.
This is Jinder Mahal, my boy. Look what he
that was
does.
just Jinder Mahal.
That was
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
You-
anything, we could talk about that weird.
We hit The Rock, Tony Khan, the women's division. We talked about backstage fights, all this, all because of gender. Look at that.
And speaking of backstage fights, let's go to my fave.
Oh,
CM
no.
Punk.
Oh.
Ooh, let's go.
There will be no booing of CM Punk in this panel.
Any problematic white man.
Not to yuck anyone's yum, but no booing CM Punk.
So, how you feel about it?
How do I feel about I think CM Punk is good for business, brother. I've been a CM Punk fan for a long ass motherfucking time. Back when I convinced myself I was straight edge.
All good for a face like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
legitimately, I did that for about 10 years.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what we're
right?
talking about.
I was like, yes.
And I was
absolutely.
like,
yes.
and I did mine for like 10 days. So like,
It's like, oh, I can't do this.
level,
Yeah.
layer. So I've always seen CM Punk through the very high highs and the very low lows.
How
And
low?
there,
Last September.
The latter half of his AEW run.
yeah, and there are a lot of lows in the ROH days and the like. But I believe he can change you all. It's okay because nobody's watching anyway. I'm sorry, and that's a shame, and that truly is a shame. And I think it harkens back to Tony Khan being more of a fan than like a
Right.
booker. Because how do you hinge a whole show on one man and then that one man torpedoes everything from his own, his own things and some outside things as well. But now you looking goofy with a Saturday show that you're like trying to breathe life into, and I feel bad for those people because it seems like another. Remind me of the online joint that they used to do.
Oh, dark.
Oh, dark.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of another dark situation, and that's truly unfortunate. But back to CM. I am at the point right now where I'm excited, as I was with CM Punk going into AEW. I feel like anyone that CM Punk touches,
Turns into a lawsuit?
yeah, Y'all, one of two things happens. Their star elevates or they get shipped off to New Japan. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. That's a win for old boy. But we ain't talking about old boy. We're talking about CM Punk. I'm very, very excited to see yeah, he is old. He is old. I'm very excited to see what he does first, who he takes on first. I truly believe that he is one of the most polarizing figures in wrestling, period. And no matter what he does, you cannot deny whether you hate this man or you love this man. Whatever he does will get views, will get ratings, will elevate whoever he is doing the thing with. Even if he's punching out people and allegedly striking the blood. Larry, draw the line. You don't fuck with Larry. But I also can also be critical of CM Punk as this crotchety figure, who I feel like is in this weird era of it's like I want to be adored, but I also want to be seen as this rebel. So it's like somewhere in between the CM Punk of like old days, but he's like grasping at like not necessarily a Cody Rhodes thing, but he want to be kissing babies to some degree, but he's still like edgy. But I'm with it, like I said. And he plays it well. He's really good at it. So I'm a Mark brother.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I would love to hear more like CM Punk takes though.
Oh, I got some. I mean,
Yes.
so like, here's my thing about CM Punk. I've been a CM Punk fan for years, since like ROH, Second City Saints, all that stuff. And it's just like, for me, when he comes back, it's like the biggest shocker to me, because been 10 years, and I'm just like, oh my God, I never thought this would actually happen. But then it's like, you think back to the Montreal Screwjob, and Bret Hart came back after 10 years too. And it's like, he literally punched Vince in the face when he got fucked over.
Real hot girl shit.
So it's like, everyone's like, oh, CM Punk, he's gonna disturb the locker room, he's gonna mess things up. I'm like, this locker room over the past 20, 30 years has held people like JBL, who is a notorious bully, who has gotten into many fights. It has had Booker T, who has gotten into a fight with Batista. It has people like Sin Cara, who have gotten into fights with Sheamus. They have multiple people. Wrestling is a carny industry.
Wait, where's Sin Cara?
And that's, yes.
There's like
Mystico or
5.
like the fake Sin Cara?
It was the original.
The original, the one that
Mystico,
swapped in.
whatever. It was one of those. He got into a fight with It was years ago.
Okay.
But the point is, wrestling is a carny industry, and it is mean in the sense that these are performers, but at the end of the day, they're treated like it's a business, but it's not necessarily going to be treated with like the same respect as a business, because they're just the boys. They're the boys in the back, and they're going to act like boys. And now that we're at a point, we're at a public view, where we're in the stock market and everything, merging with Endeavor, UFC, we have to act like business types. So now everyone, especially people on the internet who think they know everything, are like, well, he's gonna be bad for business because he got into 2 fights in a different company. Wow. And then, okay, that's bad. Oh, by the way, JBL showed up on NXT this past week. So let's talk about all the things JBL has done. But no one cares.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. But because this is more recent, we're all gonna go like make him like he's like the villain here. Everyone gets into fights. Multiple sports athletes in MLB and the NFL, in hockey.
And sometimes some motherfuckers
Always are fighting.
I'ma just say.
It's encouraged in hockey. So it's like, so why is this any different?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I don't think there's any issue with it. I don't necessarily think they need CM Punk, But it's just
Talk shit, get butt.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
good for business.
We're not here to make friends. We're here to make money.
Don't fuck with Larry, bro. Period. Don't fuck with Larry.
Exactly.
Just a little guy who looks like the wolf man.
Like my take.
Hey, yo. I'm about to jump over this table. About to be like that court judge over here, bro. Look at us. We are hitting the topics, man.
Yeah.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things on this already knocked out.
Shit.
And,
Well,
She has something to say.
Yeah.
oh, wait a
I
minute.
want to say something about the problematic white boy that we've been talking about.
Oh, yes. I love problematic white men.
Oh, white niggas. I'm in the same boat with Monty. Like, I've been a fan of CM Punk, you know, since like I first saw him in WWE, then I just like fast after those stuff. And I'm interested in seeing what CM Punk could do now in WWE. Like, when me and a friend were talking about like the night that CM Punk came and they were like hyping it up and being like, oh, CM Punk's coming, he's gonna say something, he's gonna have a live fight, da 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 da. And it's like, okay, you got about 3.5 minutes, so we got to go off here. And to me, that promo he cut, was it short? Was it not what I was expecting? Sure. But the promo that he dropped in AEW, that whole big thing, that was what I needed. Because
Yes.
he's not coming back to wrestling like some first time. He's not emotional anymore. It's like, it's emotional, but it's a different type of emotion. That promo gave me the 7 years that I was looking for. The
Right.
anger, the hurt, the betrayal, the I want to do better, you know, people didn't listen, people mocked me for trying something new and failing at it, like I'm the only one who failed at this shit and no one else, you know, whatever. So I'm like, I got that. I got that pump back. I saw what he did. He did his thing in AEW, punched out people in front of cameras, outside of cameras, getting involved with Larry. It's all cool, whatever.
Tony feared for his life.
He did.
Okay.
He was in fear for his life.
Fear. He weighs like what, 5 more pounds more than Darby. He be fine.
That's another thing I want to add on, but that's the next topic. We'll get to that. We're going to get another Tony Khan thing.
So
Go on.
what I want to see Punk do in WWE, it's like I don't care for him to be edgy. I'm trying to be different because it's like he's not saying youth has anything to do with it, but that time has come and gone. He's not that anymore. He can still be edgy. He can still be. He's going to be different because he's now CM Punk. But it's like, what is CM Punk the vet going to be?
Yeah.
now?
Right.
Who is he going to help? Who is he going to trample? Whose story is he going to help solidify a legacy of? How is he going to solidify his final like run in WWE and make it? This is what it's like, almost like this is what he kind of like. It's that whole like, oh, you had a fight with your family, you and your family parted ways, went no contact, and then like, okay, someone like either passed or got sick, and you kind of think maybe I should go back and reconcile. It might not be the right time. It's kind of weird. What do we do with this? Someone said sorry, or someone said I acknowledge what I did was wrong, something, and it's like, okay, we can build this. So it's like, what can Punk build from this? He's back home now. What is he going to do now that he's back home? Because if he leaves again, home is not going to be there anymore. So he's going to make it worth it, and he's not going to be pooping his pants in front of Cena.
Oh no. Never forget. Oops, I just shit my britches on SmackDown. Was it SmackDown or Raw that he did that?
It was SmackDown.
It was SmackDown.
So,
Yeah.
and getting all them.
I think the thing is that when he started when he showed up in AEW, he talked a lot, not necessarily on screen, but backstage at the scrums or whatever. He wanted to work with the younger wrestlers and kind of like be that kind of veteran guy. And I don't know if he necessarily got that opportunity in AEW because it's frankly like not as organized backstage. Compared to WWE, it's not. Like, Tony Khan not only is a fan, he wants to be friends with everybody, and
You can't.
there are wrestlers who are in positions of power who are not, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Young Bucks. I don't really have any feelings, negative or positive, but I do think it's
Big same.
I do think it's silly that wrestlers who are on-screen characters actually have like positions of power backstage. That doesn't make sense to me with a big giant company that's on television.
Basically, Hogan in the 90s.
Yeah. So I think him going to WWE, I think he knows that he doesn't have a whole lot of time left as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And this is like his last chance,
Yes.
essentially, with WWE. And that's kind of where I think he wants to finish his
Yeah.
story, so to speak. So I'm sure he's not going to come in guns blazing like, what is he? He's not going to repeat the same promo he had in AEW, especially when it was about his time in WWE. That doesn't make any sense. So.
At least he's on the path to
Yes, somebody's gonna finish their story.
Someone please finish this story.
Oh my God.
Or the rubber chicken, just
Where's the story of the rubber chicken?
Finish the story.
Finish the story.
If any, I mean, to me at least, and if anything, he looks like Punk has been happier there. Like I'm not gonna say like I know the dude, but I don't know, just to see like his like presence there, he just seems a little bit more, maybe not like refreshed, maybe because I don't know you're right, the backstage in WWE is a lot different from the one in AEW because at least there, I feel like there's some structure in WWE. Like say what you want,
Yes.
but there's structure. Like, but the fact that like there have been how many fights has he had backstage or what was it? Like, oh,
In
yes.
AEW, there was 2.
Okay, there were 2, but so like the fact
but
that
also multiple disagreements with
Right.
people over things.
like the fact that like that's like you have this company for like how many years now and you still can't like figure that shit out. Like it shouldn't be, to me at least, it should not be that hard. If I don't know, if anything, I feel like maybe this was a blessing in disguise for him. I don't know, just because I don't know with the new. I always remember like this company's remember what he said at the pipe bomb. Like I feel like this company's not going to do well until Vince dies. But at this point, I think Vince is just in a cryogenic chamber, just sitting. So I don't know what. Like,
He's just a figurehead.
He a
Like, they just say,
hologram.
hey, this is the guy. Now shut up and go back in your hole. That's
like
literally what it is.
here's some magazines to look at. Like just go. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. You're doing great. You're doing good work. But yeah, I do, like I said, I do think that he's, I don't know, like maybe he is like happier there. He seems a little more like refreshed with like, the talent there. And like I said, with the structure backstage, I feel like that's going to help. So if somebody tries to start shit, someone's be like, yeah, we don't do that here. Please, no. So I don't know. I feel like at least, and also especially with like sets, especially with like the fact that
Great Maverick don't come out.
what's that guy do? What's that guy do?
I get that 24/7 belt, man.
Yeah. Oh no. I don't know, but to me, like when I saw Seth's reaction to when he came out, like he was fucking fuming. So that at least could be a decent view from since I wasn't watching, that far back at the time. So Seth and Punk were just like fucking hating each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This could
A
be
lot of people hate that man.
well. But
That's fine.
yeah. So it'll be a good, I guess, maybe it'll light a fire under both of their asses, so that they'll maybe have a good match at Mania. Who knows?
I think that whole backstage, it's lit a fire under them,
Right.
and I think harkening back to what you were saying about him being in CM Punk's a veteran. When he left AEW, that was one of the biggest things that I was really bummed about because I was like, damn, I feel like that's lost to us
We
now.
didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Because it was too much like Tony being a fan, oh my god, I can't wait to
Yes.
It was giving like
I
AEW
know.
Tuesday, you and everything.
And then, the MJF stuff that he did, oh my god, just yes please. So much, I loved it. And I just, first of all, when that music hit, I screamed.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a banshee. But also, like you were saying, getting to see him actually work the younger talent and also get back to those storylines that were left unfinished in WWE. It's exciting. It's real fucking exciting.
Yeah, as we said that other time, wrestling's fucking hilarious.
Wrestling is so fucking hilarious, man. It's so funny to me. People will be like, I hate this guy, I hate this person so much. 5 years later, they're shaking hands. And I'm just like, that's just so funny,
Like, that's not what hate is.
man. So hilarious.
Because I think as much as people hate each other, people also love money. So you're going to put it
Exactly.
aside to make some money. I guess speaking of people coming to WWE from AEW and the organizational structure, we need to talk about
Woman,
Oh,
woman.
Jade Cargill, because Triple H actually said in their media scrum, press conference, whatever bullshit thing they're calling them, he touched on the fact that AEW didn't necessarily give Jade the proper training and the opportunities, and it seemed very disorganized.
straight up.
And she was, you know, a big star, and now she's having to kind of rework her way back up, which I think is great, but I
Yes.
think it's a sign of AEW having some, what's the word? Holes, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like they'll build people up, but the problem is AEW at the end of the day is not WWE.
No.
They build up all these people that they have, but you go to see someone on the street and be like, you know who John Cena is, you know who Seth Rollins is, you know who The Rock is. If you say, hey, do you know who Swerve is? No one knows that. No disrespect to Swerve, but like, you just start doing this and they're like, you don't know this guy? No, you don't, because you're not WWE no matter how much you build it up. So the fact that Jade went undefeated in AEW for nearly God knows how long,
Like 50, like 60.
50 and whatever, went undefeated, and then she gets beaten by returning Chris Statlander. Love Chris Statlander, by the way. Nothing against him.
Woman.
And she gave him her best match in her final match.
Yes, she definitely.
But it's just that after all of that, it's like, okay, what did we do? How did this help Jade? What did this do for Jade?
Nothing.
She couldn't work longer than a 5-10 minute match.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's nothing against her, like,
That's kinda sad.
she wasn't given the tools to do that, and I think that's really frustrating.
With how, I don't know, with how much like, you know, we never would say like, oh, we have like, these women in this division. It's like, okay, but use them? Like, do something with them? Like, I feel like most of Jade's masters were just squash. Like, that was it. Like, if you really want her to get better and showcase like more of her skills, don't just like have her do like a 2-minute squash match. Just do something more. Like like I get full, like a few squash matches here and there, fine, I'm with you. But if it's the majority of her title defenses or squashes, it's like, this is not fun to me. This is kind of sad. Like, I remember, like, the one other match I could remember that she had, like, on paper for the titles was with Ruby. From one of the last ones I could remember. Maybe it was Statlander or another one? I can't, like,
Athena?
oh, there was
They
Athena.
didn't have a match.
Oh, damn it. Oh, there was.
She did hang out. See, just like, I don't remember these things because there's
Exactly.
nothing.
Notable.
Because the problem I have with AEW is great if you're established. If you, whether it's you're coming from WWE, whether it's you're coming from TNA, whether you're coming from New Japan, if you're established in America somehow, you'll do fine in AEW. But if you're new, if you're fresh off the indie, no one knows who you are because you're like a very wrestler overseas, AEW has nothing for you. So if someone like Jade, who she wasn't a wrestler before she got here, they don't have a program necessarily in place like how, even though they complain about WWE up and down, they have the performance. They
Yes, they
have
do.
NXT, and you know, for NXT it was SJ. You know, they had a system for what they
Right.
wanted. The new people, whether you were indie, you've just been wrestling for like 2 weeks because they saw you somewhere,
Right.
whatever. They have this program in place to graduate you to be on TV, so you can compete with their mid-stars, and then you can learn and move on. With AEW, it's like, what, the Nightmare Factory is supposed to make her like perfect in like what, 2 weeks, and then it's like show
It's
her.
not realistic.
Like she does, like, I love Jade Down. She looks great. She
Mhm.
has the look. She has the energy. She has that it factor that you know.
Yes.
If she had, like, for example, the wrestling experience and skills like Athena, she would be okay.
Mhm.
But she's not there. And they don't have, and to me, it's like they don't have anything for someone like her. They have something for people who maybe have more wrestling experience, like under 5 years, like at least 3 to 5 years. They can figure out something for those people, but not necessarily for her. And then at that point, even if you do have 3 to 5 years, your success is like at the whim of like this dude who's playing AEW like it's WWE 2K. Like,
God.
it's like you can't just pair people up or just like put them in because you think it's a good match or
Right.
whatever. It's like there has to be an order, there has to be a system, there has to be some kind of build, some kind of flow, some kind of like make it make sense. But there's
Right.
no make it make sense.
But
And
how do you combat that? Because I feel like that's, not to like shit on AEW, because one of the things AEW does exceptionally well, like when they put people together, like they are capable of some fucking barn burner and like phenomenal matches. I find that they very much lack the storytelling ability.
Yes.
Yes.
To like
Very much.
Yes.
put the things together and, as you said, make it make sense. So it was very confusing with Jade and like watching Jade, like you want to root for her, and I mean I root for her all the time because
you only got
muscle
3.
mommy, I like muscle mommy, that's my type. But after a while, it's like, what do you do with all these squash matches? Like there's not a story being told. And I feel like, yes, there can be room for that because there were several people whose stories were like, me big man, me beat people real good. And yes, Braun
That's
Strowman
right.
is a very good example of that, and Braun Strowman was over as hell, and Jade Cargill was over as hell, and I would say Jade got a lot more shit for that persona than Braun Strowman did, and we all know why the fuck that is. But at the same time, after a while, yes, there is kind of like a cap when you don't have that create a star system that WWE has. And again, that's because WWE has been around forever. And I just wonder, with time, will that be something that they are able to like develop and see through? Because there are a lot of people who are considered homegrown AEW talent, right? MJF, I guess, is one of those people, but is he really homegrown, you know? And yeah, I don't know. So I wonder what the solution is for that.
I feel like there was an opportunity with, excuse me, QT Marshall and like the Nightmare Factory. Like they could have really built upon that because a lot of those wrestlers were showing up on AEW Dark, and like that Collision could be the NXT. I don't like. I think that's the thing with AEW is I really want it to succeed, but sometimes they get in their own way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like they have to keep reminding us, like, oh, we're not WWE.
Yeah, they're focused. Yeah.
Literally. Because I'll never forget that time where they had that little thing where Kenny became the TNA Impact champion, and every week on Impact, because I feel like I was the only person watching Impact. We're gonna get into that.
I want Impact once a month.
The Forbidden Door era was my I loved it so much. It was so cool. That was like that's how I like my wrestling is like who's gonna show up where.
Exactly. Like Impact was
You
like,
could work together.
They had times where it's like, oh, Kenny's on and Impact, what's going on?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Matt Hardy shows up with Private Party on Impact. I'm like, dude, I can see Private Party versus the Machine Gun. That's dope. And then what did they do? They just filled it with promotional time for Tony to talk about his show on Impact. And I'm like, really? And then I'll never forget the one time he had a promo where he was like, yeah, we're on here on Impact, but let's be real. We're here because we're against them. You know who we're talking about. And I'm like, are you serious?
Could we not, though?
Bro, just give me fun matches. I don't care if you're anti-WWE. No one
Like, you
cares.
want a cookie for that? Like, my God.
CM Punk did that for 10 years, so what's up? He came back. Who cares? Impact then said, hey, you know what? You want to have Mickey James in your Rumble? That's good promotion
Yes.
for us. So you can have your Impact champion in a WWE
With
match
her theme.
with her Impact theme. And just be like, oh, we have good promotion now. Hey guys, by the way, watch Impact.
Do you want to talk more about Impact Now?
Oh, you mean
TNA?
TNA?
Say now TNA.
TNA.
They're
TNA.
back. Wait,
The original, see, Tony Khan, listen, now, let me tell you right now, TNA was magical in my day.
It was.
TNA was magical. They had terrible things going on, but let me tell you, listen, the girls in the cage dancing, that we're not gonna talk about that. The midget with the gun, we don't talk about that.
We can talk about the TNA of now, like.
But TNA now, they said, you know what, we're Impact because they want to get away from that name, but like,
Right.
everyone chants TNA. Everyone knows it's TNA. We don't say Impact Wrestling, like, we know it was Impact, but they were like, you know what, everyone's standing it. Everyone loves the things from they used to do. We love Ultimate X. We love the women's division, the Knockouts division, which is arguably the best women's division
Good.
in wrestling,
Yes.
not counting like Joshi and stuff like that, but like they get screen time.
They do.
They have women who have multiple storylines. They have tag team titles.
They
have
get it.
Groups, and it's like Tony Khan says, "All right, it's 9:15. I guess it's time for a women's
No,
match."
it's 9:25, actually.
No, oh, it's moved up to 9:25. I'm sorry, it's gone further because we can't have more than one women's
Because we
match
have
on
to
here.
have at least, like, a couple of minutes for this one dude to do, like, a long promo. It's like, I don't
Chris
get
Jericho
it.
needs to come out and talk. We're gonna get to Chris Jericho in a
Retire,
second.
bitch.
No.
But anyways, back to TNA.
I say,
Listen,
yeah. So
TNA,
I'd rather not have Jericho.
as a kid for me, seeing that, like, you know, the six-sided ring and seeing all the innovative different things coming in, and then seeing, you know, people like Kurt Angle, Sting, and AJ Styles, them all just popping up and showing up and being like, yo, this isn't, it's not WWE, but we're doing something different.
Yeah, it's
I
an
saw
alternative.
Kurt Angle doing a 450 onto Abyss off of a stage, and I was like, you don't see this in WWE. Kurt Angle wasn't doing that in WWE. That's why I think for TNA. And that's why I think they came back, because they realized, like, they can't hide from their past, you know?
No.
The past, people are always chanting it, and they're like, you know, we want to see it. And now that you have all this stuff, you have more people who are signed to TNA who are talking about, oh, you know, this is what I grew up watching. I watched Ultimate X. This inspired me to do this. You've got people like Speedball, Mike Bailey out on every
My
show.
beloved.
You've got people like Crazy Steve, who's been a lifelong person who now has like found himself truly. You've got people like Alex Shelley, who's been there since day one, kicking ass, and now they're on this bigger pedestal. And it's like, after seeing all this in the past few years, especially during the pandemic, with all the things that were going on, now it's like, oh, we're noticing this, and now there's people who want to be part of it. We got Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke there now. You've got Nick Nemeth, FKA Dolph Ziggler there now. You've got Ocean Spray popping in every once in a while because he wants to have a 5-star match, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever.
Okay.
But it's like, people grew up on TNA because they saw cool flippy stuff, cool X Division things happening. That was innovative. And most of the wrestlers now are here because of what they saw in those matches back then. So I think that's why it's important for TNA to be what it is now, be fully quote unquote back. And hopefully they sign Okada.
Oh my God. Man, just can't.
Oh,
Keep up
that's
between
just
the moves.
bad boy.
we can jump over to Okada
How
because
many do we
he's.
have left?
I mean, we're just jumping around.
Yeah.
It's
We're
not
going
really a
around,
check
yeah.
mark. We could just, you know.
I'm just saying Okada versus Roman is my dream match, and that's all I want. That's all I need.
Look, all I'm saying is, like, when I saw Okada just come in between the Motor City Machine Guns, I'm like, yeah, I
It's
want.
like, We can pretend that the Green Hornet gimmick didn't exist because
The
TNA. You don't
Oh,
know
that one! Oh my, wait, I actually do remember.
where he was Okato.
Oh dear.
I
actually do know.
He was he was like Kato and Samoa Joe was the Green Hornet. Good times.
I know family, that's
Oh,
all.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've ruined this for you.
Oh no, it's okay. I love wrestling. Wrestling to me is like different strains of like anime, bro. It's
Yes.
wonderful. Different storylines, different timelines. It's great.
It's redneck kung fu.
Yeah.
Redneck, yeah. Redneck anime, redneck kung fu. That's basically what it is at the end of the day.
This isn't on any of the things, but speaking of anime, I just like that Shinsuke Nakamura now is a JoJo's Bizarre
Holy
Adventure.
fuck! Dude!
And he just cuts these promos and he just and I'm just like, I love this. Why are you? You're just an anime villain that always loses, but you're still like that dude. And it's
Like, he doesn't let it bring him down. He's just
wonderful.
he's like, I will break your fucking back and walk your
Yes.
daughter down the aisle because you can't, because you're old and fragile and I'm better than you.
Said Dusty Rhodes was an inbred person.
Holy shit.
I had to pause and rewind.
Oh,
And you could just hear the crowd just be like, hey yo, what?
And when I tell you, this is what I've been wanting from Shinsuke for like
Yeah.
like oh my god, because it's like when they called him up from like fucking NXT, and it was like he had that one big pop, and then it just seemed like after that it's like every week people stopped chanting through his song, stopped
Yeah.
understanding who he was, stopped remembering how dope he was in New Japan.
Yeah.
Because I remember like my first time seeing him, then backtracking the catalog, was him versus AJ Styles.
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
And that said, I was like, all right, sir, hold on a second. We're going to pirate more things. We're going to look up some more things. All right. Fuck with that. And it's like, I've been yelling into the Instagram boys that if this is what they should do with Shinsuke. Because it's very clear with WWE. It feels like they never know what to do with people who don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, you can work around this because Brock Lesnar never talked for like 20 years. It's
Right.
you know, and it's like when you watch, because for those who've never seen New Japan, but it's like when you watch New Japan, they're dropping these amazing promos. You can find like the English subtitles, you can follow
Yes.
along, and they're really poignant, they're really direct, they're really dark, they're really funny, they're something.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all can do this exact same thing. WWE is running the script, you have a writer's room. You can give him subtitles in a promo,
Yeah.
or you can heavily script his promos for live and have like the subtitles for those who are watching at home.
Yes.
And maybe popped up somewhere for those who are live. You
Right.
can do this so he can go, but you're playing. So once
Right.
they started giving him like this whole evil JoJo Bizarre
I
Adventure
love
I was
The
like,
enemy
oh,
stand you,
okay.
it could be anywhere.
yes!
It's
Yes!
my favorite thing ever. I hope they continue to do it forever and ever because it's great. And like to what you were saying, I feel like they also like had that same thing with Asuka, where it's like they bring her almost to the point where it's like yes, motherfucker, yes, but then it's like oh no, what are you doing?
Oh no, baby, no, what is it?
And like they give her these short title runs, and you're like, what are you doing? Stop.
Because it's not like, and with her, it's like it's not like she can't go. She can
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
She can kick ass.
No.
She could kick me if she wanted, I don't care.
You know,
She fucking
and-
do it.
Like when they turned her to, was it Kana?
Mhm.
When they like turned
Oh
her down.
my
Yeah, I
God.
was like, where are we going with this? And then it was like, nowhere. Cool. We love it.
Great.
Sure.
Also, I did want to say, like, with Shinsuke's promo, going back to Shinsuke's promo, the great thing about it is it counters the fucking what chants every time a wrestler
Yeah.
speaks in a different language. Like, could you not do that,
Yeah.
please? That's no, it just makes you feel icky. Like, don't do that. So at least with this one, you are paying attention to this man. You listen to every single word he says. You read the subtitles.
Yeah,
you
so
see
you
what
don't
he says.
miss that shit,
Mhm.
like anime.
Right, even if he gets like, even if he talks a little bit in the ring, like I feel like those chants have just gone like down. 'Cause it's like, okay, I'm not like I don't want to say anything about this dude because he's gonna say he's gonna like kill my family and or like or just marry my wife, like
Yeah.
marry my wife.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love it. Love it. I just wanted to bring up and give Shinsuke love for the work that he's been doing, or
say Shinsuke.
Fuck. That's,
That's a good,
run it
yeah.
back.
I'm
Do it
saying.
again.
You have him be like, listen, Okada was crying and so sad when Shinsuke left, and now he sees what Shinsuke's become because Shinsuke is now bringing his version of chaos to WWE. So why not bring the man who runs chaos in to combat that? WrestleMania 40, book it. Thank you, Triple H. Pay me right now.
I'll take my check in the mail, please.
Match of the year.
Whew. We are killing it.
Yeah.
We are
Roman
going
taking,
places.
Okada taking the title off Roman, though.
I say we didn't really, we could talk about,
Oh yes.
we could talk about The Rock showing up and
Smell.
You smell.
You smell.
potentially facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
How do we all feel about The Rock here? Obviously, the man who started only with $7. Shout out Project Rock.
Oh, stop. Or
Terramana.
Terramana version.
Do we think it's like too late to have the Roman versus Rock match?
I feel.
Oh, no.
Yes, I agree. I feel like last year should have been the year they did Rock and Roman. I feel like the whole, the Hollywood thing would have been perfect as the backdrop.
Yeah.
They could have inducted Rock in the Hall of Fame or something like that, blah, blah, blah. But
Oh my god.
But at the same time, though,
Everybody got one.
I like that there are kind of like multiple roads that we're going on right now.
But at,
I wasn't even trying to make a pun on that, honestly. Well, I like that there's like, oh, maybe Cody's gonna fit it. Maybe The Rock's gonna do it. Maybe CM Punk's gonna do it. I like that we have multiple things going so we can like, who knows what can happen.
Oh no.
Stop.
Oh.
Don't put that
I'm
evil
sick
on
of
him.
Cody's body just being on the inside.
It looked like fucking like All Might with like his chest just
Yes,
sunken in.
I'm like, why is your body just, why is your meat on the inside? I'm
He
like,
could have lost it. He's like, oh yeah, I could have lost it. Like, wait, what?
it just casually, like, I'm just light myself on fire today and go finish
With the shit on his back.
Pay no attention to the stuff on my back right now.
Pay no attention to it.
I was like, yo, when did he get very bad? What did this happen? But Dwayne, yeah, I'm just saying, when he was going that little scrap against Jinder the other week, he was looking a little tired. I ain't gonna lie.
Me too.
He was like, I don't know, Dwayne.
Does he need this?
He's not used to moving that.
Right.
If we're being frank, he's
Yeah.
really like at this point, to me, he's over. He's really like, I tell him like, what are you training for, son? Is it for the tequila? Because what you need to do? Terrible.
I took a shot to that earlier.
He's pumping so much iron at this point. I'm like, you're over. You're pretty much, you're the dude that they send to like overseas to like bust things and like these giant like extinct like elephants and stuff.
He has to fight an
They worded
earthquake.
that in the air. I was like, Bobby, sweet, it's summertime. What's going on and why are these fans punching like elephants? But okay. But how is he, okay, cool.
Listen, he fought an earthquake in San Andreas.
He actually went and just fought the earthquake.
Yeah, that was easy.
Was that San Andreas?
Yeah.
Actually, there was a guy in Bobby who punched the line, but that's a whole nother story. But back to the Rock and
Well, yeah,
Roman,
isn't it like right now the story is like Australia wants him from Elimination Chamber, so they're running with that match.
Huh.
You know what? Honestly, do that because that builds up all the other pay-per-views as stuff that you should tune into instead of just like, oh, this is just Backlash because it has some matches on it. Like, no, they have Backlash in France. I want to see how cool that is. They have Backlash in Puerto Rico was lit last
Oh my
year.
god.
They're making all their shows mean something now. So it's like, why not just pop The Rock on Elimination Chamber?
You know what?
I've always-
That's a good point. There was a podcast that I listened to, Russell Talks, and they made that same thing, like make the other things around WrestleMania, like or leading up to it, like matter more. Yeah, I like that. I
Because
like that a lot.
you gotta give people a reason to like watch all these shows. Like you want people. We all watched all the Avengers films to get to Endgame. I mean, not all we, but you know what I mean. But I'm like people. I mean, you saw the box office on Endgame, so I mean, like.
I think there's like this belief system that the big four, that's the only time you can do something big or important or have a return or have, like, you have 12 pay-per-views, spread it out, like.
Yeah.
And even then, you can also mix in like the fact that like NXT has its own events too, and they get like pay-per-view premium live events, or they have their like specials every other month where it's like, hey, we're not gonna give you everything here, but here's a taste of what you can see on Peacock. And it's like, okay, you put The Rock in Australia, people are gonna wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to watch it. Because it's The Rock.
Insane people.
Insane people like me.
Yeah.
Because I watched Wrestle Kingdom last month. What are you talking about? So.
Like Wrestle Kingdom for like those who watched on the web, that's pretty much what the endurance says. It's good. I watched it.
And we've done it at
But it was
MAGFest
7
before.
a.m.
That's
Oh God.
It's usually the same week as MAGFest, and it's,
at MAGFest.
yeah.
I was so thankful. Oh my God.
Otherwise, I'm like, I'm too lazy for this.
I wanna.
I want to talk about NXT.
We could talk about NXT.
Who here likes NXT? Yeah, that's right. Because after that whole period of 2.0 where it was just like, I was on my own because everybody was like, oh, it's not the same. It's not good anymore. And I was like, you're just mad because it's not an indie fed
Right.
like it was. And I'm like, they're building their own new stars now. That was the point of NXT. And no disrespect to Triple H, I think he's doing a great job right now. But for a moment of time in NXT, it was just like, who do we get from an indies right now so we can just bring them in? And it's like, okay, but what about the people that you develop, you know? And like you have your people like, you know, your Big E's, like your products of the system, Big E, you know, Bianca, they're stars. They weren't on the indies before. But then, you know, you bring in your Adam Coles, your Roderick Strongs, your Kyle O'Reillys, your old man Bobby Fish. You bring it all.
Old men of the sea.
But just like it got to a point where like I enjoyed like all those NXT stuff, you know, with Dijak and Keith Lee and stuff. But it was like I want to see the new, you know, people who are being developed. And that's why I liked, you know, 2.0 for a bit, because it was, I know, the rainbow splashes and then, oh, it's all cool. No. Listen, the day Braun Breaker said, I don't give a shit, you want a friend, go get a dog, I was fan instantly. Because he said, yo, listen, they cursing on me? Let's go. We can speak shit now?
And Chucky T still isn't allowed to
And
say
Chucky
shit.
shows up every Halloween to make fun of Braun because of his father. Because he had a feud with Rick Steiner in WCW.
I love that there's NXT lore. I love it.
More. And that's another thing about NXT. It feels like an actual like ecosystem, like everything feels intertwined. Like they'll have a backstage segment with two people, and then the next thing you know, someone else is behind them talking like, oh, this is not just, we shot this here, we shot this here. Everything plays its own part and everything comes together. Trick Williams is one of the best like definitions of like, who do we show to represent the performance center? Well, besides, you know, your Big E's and your Biancas and everyone else. Trick Williams, no one really cared. They were like, oh, he's the sidekick of Carmelo Hayes, you know? And Carmelo Hayes was great on the indies. And that's all people saw was going to be Carmelo Hayes. The past 2 years, Trick Williams has improved on mic. He's already great on the mic, and he's improved even tenfold on that. He's become one of the most over acts just because of how much charisma he has. He has an amazing look. He can be a star. And that's what I love so much about NXT, because anybody has a chance to connect with this crowd and this audience to just become like something even bigger. Like LA Knight right now. He was already, doing big things, in TNA and NWA, but when he hit NXT, and it's like you bring that energy to now you're on WWE, and you see that, and people will pick up on it. Now he's one of the biggest stars in all of wrestling. Like, if you said the name Eli Drake about 5 years ago, most people wouldn't know you're talking about. Exactly. And it's like nothing against him, but like he just did not have the platform he needed. So now that he had that and he built up this crowd in NXT, and now look at him, he's in the main event for the Royal Rumble. I think like that's a testament to not only just like his. It's a ghost. Oh my God, Tony, no. Oh my God. But no, it's just a testament to like how much NXT is, how valuable it is.
Yes.
Because we can not only create new people, but we can also, find the people who we already knew had something great and elevate them to even bigger status, which is like one of my main issues, like we brought up earlier with AEW, because we only have so much time between 3 shows a week, and I will never forget the day they had the Action Andretti face Chris Jericho, and Action Andretti beats Chris Jericho, and everyone's like, oh snap, that was cool.
That was.
What are we
Is
doing
he,
with
where
Action
is
Andretti?
he now?
He's with his whole thing is I hang out with Top Flight. I'm not part of Top Flight. I just hang out with them,
Just happy to be here.
and then I swallow water bottles whole.
Why does he do that?
It's like the opposite. It's like the reverse Triple H. Instead of him spitting out, he just drinks the whole thing.
And it's like, what happened? What was?
I don't know what that.
Where did we go? What was the point of beating Jericho? It did nothing for him.
It's the same thing with trying to come comparing it with like that. It's like, what is the purpose?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just
Literally.
Have they ever explained why they're all together? Like
No, I don't.
I mean,
Private Party and Matt Hardy. Like
have
why?
come back.
Are they just friends?
they have finally come back and they're like, we're not with Matt Hardy
Every
anymore.
day,
So I'm like,
every day.
cool. That's all you needed to say. Mark Quinn was like missing in the void of a black hole in space for a whole year.
They're back.
There's too many factions.
I thought so, but they
Too
never said
many.
anything, so I was just like,
Too many factions.
oh.
Aren't the Don Callis family.
Listen,
We even know
all
we're
I'm
not
saying is,
together.
Takeshita, we're gonna get you out of there. Just hold on for a little bit. Cause
Both of us, if we have to pull Takeshita out together.
Because that dude, like, I only found out about him through one of my friends who's a big fan of DDT, and when I saw him, like, holy fuck, this dude is absolutely incredible. I've never seen, like, anything like him. Like, I've seen him in, like, smaller promotions after that, and then when they brought him here, I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And then Don Callis and his hot dog looking ass came in and decided, hey, you want to be part of my family with my brown note theme song? That's what it is.
And his scar that moves like every 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, he does. Oh my god.
I don't understand. Who's doing
Who's doing this?
That's a theme song. What are you talking about?
I don't understand. Okay, what were we talking about before The Rock?
Don
There's a lot of things
I
we're
would
talking
like
about.
to, I would like to discuss my disdain with the Don Callis family.
because he looks like a hot dog.
How do you feel about Don?
How do you feel about the Don?
Cyrus, how do you feel about Cyrus the Virus?
I'm talking about the Don Callis family because I feel as though, first of all, I'm confused by it because,
Like most AEW factions.
yes, I find that there are too many factions in AEW, and then a lot of them don't make sense. And with the Don Callis family, I feel I liken him to a like great value
Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman. And so in that, Paul Heyman is effectively conversation with some boys. Paul Heyman is effective because he is not the head of the faction.
No.
He is never the head. He is the person that you talk to get to
Right.
the
He's an
mid-boss.
advocate.
He's the account manager.
A literal manager.
Like you talk to this man first. So I'm sitting here confused as to why this slimy scumbag that everyone is like,
rose
don't
col-
trust a hoe, never trust a hoe. Like, why is he speaking for everybody? All of these like men who are positioned to be like the future
Right.
of AEW.
Then do
Will
something.
Hobbs. You got Takeshita, who is the alpha now.
Fletcher.
Why, Fletcher. Like, why are y'all following him? Why?
What does he have? Like, is it, what is it?
Is it the painting? Because I would be
Listen,
in
Mel-
for a painting.
Listen, Mel Coleman does good shit, but like,
I would be
I don't want to
kind of
see.
like a Dorian Gray kind of painting, like,
If you put me in the joint where they like touching like this, I would be in for the painting. But other than that,
Like, what do you, like, you're just showing me the commissions that you got, but what are you doing
what
with
is
it?
Don Callis doing?
What are we
with any of
doing
this?
here?
Like, in general, that whole conflict, that's my issue with AEW faction. It's like, you're building all these, the point of a faction, to me, is one or two, if not all of these people in this group are supposed to be elevated to something. One of them either betrays them, they get to another status, one becomes evil, one becomes fake, something. But with AEW factions, it's probably like one of my bigger things. It's like, you're grouping all these things together, but no one is building anybody
No,
else.
nothing.
The people who are already established are going to be the faces of it. They're going to be the ones to cheer for. Everyone's going to forget about the other people. It's just, you're just trying, it's like you're trying to showcase everyone. It's kind of like a weird K-pop thing where it's like, oh, all 15 of y'all are going to dig but only one of y'all is going to go
One of
solo
y'all is
in
the
like
center.
3 years, and we don't forget about the rest of y'all, but y'all can go break off into like other factions like in South Korea and everything
Like,
that.
I-
You're
but-
over there in Japan. I guess I'm talking about EXO, but that's not the
Hey,
it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
like for example, Matt Hardy and like
Private Party.
It's like, okay, Matt, what
Sure.
are you doing with these people? Like, what are you doing? like what's happening? Like, because they're not doing anything anymore. It's just like they're not being elevated. No one remembers who anybody is. Quinn disappeared and no one even remembers. And it was like, well,
He got injured.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Matt's still there because he's
I forgot that happened legit when they came back. I forgot how much I love that shot.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's
And
fun.
it's like, it's also because of that pause. Like, when Quinn came back, everyone did the, who are you again? And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
one, probably because he grew his hair back in the middle, so people were like, holy shit. That way. Instead of, oh.
He would just take it off and be like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's.
He had a little
Yeah,
thing going on
yeah,
there.
the opposite of a runway. You gotta get away from me. But it's like, because it's like no one remembered who he was, because Private Party never got elevated.
No.
Matt helping them out did nothing. Matt just,
What's Matt gonna do?
what?
Well, tell you about that.
Allegedly cheat on Ruby, but that's alleged.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, she's dropping like tons of
listen,
like,
I'm
weird
not,
talk.
I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to get on that.
Listen.
What the?
She gonna make a TikTok about me and my life gonna be over, bro.
It's like that.
Yeah, no, this is being
it's like,
recorded. We love you.
see, it's like Blueface and like and then.
Oh my God.
It's like I learned all this stuff against my will. But I'm just like trying to live. It's like I'm just trying to.
Rightfully, your personalization to Blueface.
It's like I'm trying to live, and then someone's like, "Did you hear Matt cheated on?" I'm like, "No, I'm just trying."
What?
Oh,
I'm trying to
man.
like chicken recipes. What y'all
Sometimes
doing?
I wish there was more of a separation between the kayfabe and the real life.
God,
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
There,
man.
there are some things like don't.
Let me
I don't-
believe the lie.
I just thought Mark Calloway was a Grim Reaper on a bike. I don't want to know he's all Blue Lives Matter and
I don't want
everything.
to know none of that. Any of
Just
it
tell
at
me
all.
you're a graveyard attendant. That's all I need,
I want to
man.
know where parts unknown is.
Where is
You don't want to
that?
know.
I want to know how you know Limp Bizkit.
No, let's not talk. Wait, how much time we got? Like, we got almost 15.
We have about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Been talking.
Should we turn the questions to the
Yeah.
audience? beyond?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Unless there's some things that we wanted to cover.
I don't think so.
I mean, if there's anything else, but we can open up the floor for questions, thoughts, feels,
I just want
and
to say thank you all for staying up with
yes,
us.
this is a very late
Talk
panel.
about this.
Yeah, that's
It's very long, so I appreciate you all coming.
yeah. Damn. What question do you have?
Hi.
Mr. NXT.
Yeah.
Talking about NXT 2.0. How did you feel? Like when NXT 2.0 came out, I understand the push from the new performers, but like right when 2.0 came out, that's when they brought Dolph Ziggler back, won the title. That's when they brought Mandy Rose back down, won the title. How was that helping the younger talent? How did you feel about that?
So, for Dolph, that was weird to me because I felt Braun was. It was a weird spot where I felt like, I think Braun was ready to get called up, but I felt like they also said, he needs a little more work. And that was the thing about NXT, especially when it first started. They always had a thing where it's like, yeah, we got new people, but we're going to be bringing some veterans in
Yeah.
to work with them. Like when Rhino first popped up in NXT, and he's teaming with Baron Corbin, they started as a feud, and then it became a tag team. So, him beating him for the belt was weird, and then beating him at NXT, but then Braun winning it on Raw the next day was kind of very weird. It didn't really do anything. But when you bring up Mandy Rose, that was one of those things where NXT is good at, where it's like, okay, this person, maybe they came up a little too fast.
Yeah.
Let's bring them back down and let's find something else to work with to get them a little bit better.
I think Mandy Rose was really good. Yeah, because she teamed up with, Dylan. I feel like Mandy elevated those two.
Yes.
I love Mandy and Dana Brooke.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they would never let Dana Brooke be great ever.
No.
That was just.
And
Even
that
though
was
we
the
knew she was
thing.
great.
Because before she got
Yeah.
released, she was like, yo, let me go to NXT. And
She-
she was doing a thing in
She
NXT.
works her, like, she's constantly coming up with shit. Every
Yes,
time she has had so
The
many
entire
read redos.
24/7 run
Yeah.
was like, I want to do this, let's
Yeah.
do this, let's do this.
Y'all give Ash by Elegance.
Ash by Elegance is taking over TNA.
We gotta give her a chance.
Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein fragrance. When is it coming out? I would
Is
buy
TNA
it.
shop gonna sell that?
Look, somebody needs to get with marketing and make it happen because I would buy one. I would buy an Ash by Elegance fragrance.
Oh, RP.
Aw, Don wants appreciation
to the goat.
society.
Listen, that man would have sold used gum to me. I would have bought it from him. Listen.
Like, just to piggyback on the NXT, just for a second, it's like, I feel with NXT 2.0, it kind of leading to the new NXT, it's like, their developmental territory was, okay, obviously for the new indie people, so like, getting used to WWE business. For the people who were called up, who needed like, maybe a little bit more pop and new refresh. But then when they added, like, the college graduate program.
The NIL.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they started adding that, it's like, I feel like they're still filling out how they can make all of those three things work.
Yeah,
Versus just having like, it was two things, and now it's like, well, we gotta build up this person to go back on the main roster. We gotta build up this new person to go on the main roster. We gotta teach this gymnast how to be safe.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's a lot of like we gotta sign up all these people so that we can be like our system works,
And they have like no wrestling background, which is
Exactly.
like, that's,
But that's their thing. They love that. They love that. Like, oh, you don't know anything about wrestling? That means we can shape
Yeah.
you into our thing and make it work.
yeah.
And then you're in debt to why.
Forever and ever.
And like sometimes
But
it
I'm
works.
Oba Femi though. Like,
Oba Femi's my boy.
oh yeah.
That is
Yeah. Fair.
Listen,
Fair.
yo, watch. If you're not watching NXT, I need you to look out for Oba Femi. That man is a beast.
I gotta look them up.
Niger boy, Nigeria boy. That man.
Thick.
Yeah. And he's somehow a month younger than Cora Jade. That is
What?
wild.
What?
Yeah.
It's a big dude. What the fuck?
To quote Rick Ross, ooh, big motherfucker.
Accusation.
Are there any other questions?
Any other?
Accusation.
Yes.
Wait.
No.
No, wait.
My question is for anybody who's watched the show. How do you guys feel about Show by Live? And
Oh man.
I loved
I
205 Live. I thought the tournament was great. I love
Yes.
some flippy boys. Like,
I
I
love.
have a slight controversial take on 205.
Go ahead, Jay, say it.
I love 205 Live. I loved it.
Okay.
So when they brought Enzo in,
Oh fuck!
hear me out. I felt it was good for the show because they needed that villain, annoying person as a hero.
What did Enzo say? Y'all never got in the third hour until I showed up.
They made events involved a
It's the
segment
way
on
when I
that.
ran to a
And
Twitter
it's
guy
like,
and said
I'm not a fan of Enzo now for many reasons, but like
Reasons.
that was, yeah, but still, he was right. He was one of the biggest talkers in the company, and they were like, you are the face of our cruiserweight division, and now all of you are the main event of Monday Night Raw because of me. I thought that was amazing, and it was
That
done
was good.
perfectly.
But I remember talking about Enzo when I used to be on Twitter, and like Cedric replied to me, and I'm like, sir, I got time. You don't need it. So what you got to tell me, little boy?
Pretty different.
I love it when you do boy.
But like,
I love cruiserweights.
they're great.
Like that
I
whole.
don't understand the hate for it.
No, to me, I love Cedric. He wowed me.
Yeah.
He wowed the hell out
That
of me.
match with him
And
and
there,
Coda.
and it's like, it's again, people not knowing what to do. It's like,
Right.
you have so much good talent. Your scope, you have people trained to know what to look for. Whether they're on the indies, whether they're like training for the Olympics, something. People know good shit and know how to bring in good shit.
Yes.
But yet somehow, you can't tell me like for example, of 10 wrestlers, you somehow magically fumble the fucking bag of
Oops.
8 of them. And now when they leave, they like show the world what they really can do. They drop the best promos, they change up the engineer, they start like,
Oh.
delivering these really good
Stop.
things they've never been in the ring.
That man.
Like, and it's like literally like, and it's like literally, if you just gave your people, like, if you gave your people like the freedom that TNA gives their people, the encouragement that New Japan gives their people, the lax chillness, even though it can be chaotic of Tony Khan, that AEW gives,
Oh, God.
you can get some really fucking amazing
Yes.
talent. Like it's almost like using Trinity for example. It's like night and day.
Mother.
Like the moment she was in TNA, it was like I'm seeing the gear, I'm seeing the energy. You're starting to be more confident on the mic than what she used to be.
Yes.
And now she's a locker room leader. Now she's like now she's doing all the shit. And it's like for Mercedes, we already knew she could do it.
Yes, we
knew
did.
She was that bitch. And and it's like when she showed up in New Japan and it was just like geared down. I was like, shut up, whoever said it was the best kept secret. I'm like, fuck you, sir. She's so amazing. Her just being able to go, coming up with the CEO, elevated from the bottom. If you just gave your people trust and a chance, it's like you would be amazed at what they can do. And it's like, look at what Mustafa Ali is doing.
Oh
right
my
now.
God. God
It
bless
only
that man.
trust. Like he's going on a political presidential tour.
I would vote for him.
He has a guard, he has everything. He's dropping these amazing like political like promos and it's just like, sir, I don't really care for politics, but I'm watching. I'm like,
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck
and
you're
it's like,
running
and
for.
The fact that he could have done that in WWE.
He could have.
But they like pulled it.
They were
back.
about
But-
to start doing it too.
But
Oh my
They
God.
had him on the track.
And it's like, and you
Yeah.
going back to Trinity, she wanted to do the glow thing. Glow was what she wanted to do.
Fuck
That
yeah.
was her creative thing. That's what she wanted to do. And they were like, yeah, well, you know, and whatever. And now look at her getting like these beautiful wigs with her name and like.
oh
decked
my
down and
God,
everything.
yes.
And it's just like, yes, bitch, be a baddie. Now kick that bitch ass. Like, go.
Where's-
Yeah.
it's almost like if they don't come up with it, then they don't want to.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
And I'm like, and it's like, please stop coming up with stuff. Cause it's like, cause I remember like, I forgot, I think it was like a Seth Rollins, like, I think it was either Seth Rollins said it
But,
have fun.
but most of the
And
time,
talk and believe.
most of the time he'll pick the bad one.
And he like gender roles, like promo. I have no that promo. So it's like, let
Right.
people do the shit. Because if you trust them to be a wrestler,
Right.
trust them to be a wrestler. Trust them to pick their gear. Trust them
Right.
to pick their character. Yes, polish them up and maybe say like, okay, you can't say that because it's trying to keep the sponsors on them, but you can
Right.
say it this way
Right.
and still get your point across. That's how it's supposed to work if you're going to have the whole writer team and everything like that.
Right.
Work with them, not against them. Because now,
Right.
but then again, it's fine with me because I like being myself. I like being you people do what you do.
That
So
being
that's fine with me.
That being said, I am looking very much forward to him versus Mike Bailey. That is going to fuck. Like, and I knew it was gonna, like when they showed that poster, it's like, who could his opponent be? I'm like, if it's not Mustafa, I don't care. And it was, and I did the biggest scream in my house and probably scared my pet.
No, literally. Because there was a promo Mustafa delivered where he said like basically he was thinking that someone in WWE told him that no one would want to chant someone named Mustafa.
Yeah.
And yet here he is in this like sold out John, and they're all chanting Mustafa. And I'm like, you do that shit. They're gonna pronounce your name correctly. They're gonna hear your name correctly. And they're gonna want you back, and you're gonna be like, if you can pronounce my name correctly.
He's gonna get the Drew treatment when they get on Drew, and Drew is like, all right, bet. I'm gonna get bigger. I'm gonna go to other promotions, and now you're gonna want me.
And that he
you're
did.
gonna pay me more.
And that he did.
I mean, Cody did the same thing. He went on like a whole tour, essentially.
Wow.
You have a question?
Any
All
other
right, we have
questions?
about 5 minutes left. Blue?
What are your thoughts on wrestling remote as an indie company?
I don't watch.
Ran by Sammy Callahan and
Oh, fuck Sammy Callahan.
I'm
That's why I don't know anything about it, because I don't have anything to do with Sammy Callahan.
I'm not a Sammy Callahan fan. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I don't know them people, so.
I'm gonna just leave it at. I'm gonna be.
It seems very.
I'm gonna be very nice and say I'm just not a fan of Sammy Callahan.
I'm just not
Okay.
familiar with the
I don't know what it is.
I get that they've got some dope things going on, but also I just
From a
don't.
moral standpoint, like, I don't want to
He's
support
the,
Sammy
not
Callahan.
a fan. Not a fan.
You're
Yes.
when we're not Mike.
All right.
Wait.
In the back, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Even thoughts about WCW.
I was a WCW kid, so.
That was the
Go all
first.
day.
That was the first wrestling I watched.
DDP, Goldberg, those are my peoples. 3 Count, Ernest Cat Miller, I love them. Even rap, Kenny Chaos, I don't care. Psychosis, yes.
Sting before he
Fake Sting.
WCW.
Listen, they had some poopy moments, but they had some good moments.
They were towards the end when they gave Hulk Hogan basically all creative control.
F you, new blood.
I don't know about that, brother.
Listen, Billy Kim was the first person I saw do a Shooting Star Press, and that was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. Like, I get lighter and I'm created that, but that was the coolest thing I ever saw. This dude's in jorts and a tank top doing that? Yo, you're cool, bro. And then he hangs out with Rey Mysterio wearing devil horns. I want to be with them.
WCW did cruiserweight wrestling better than anything.
They did.
They really highlighted luchador style in cruiserweight style.
Exactly.
That's why I love Joe Pat, is because of the
Yes.
WCW.
Yep.
They highlighted that style, and that was so fun. And I wish WWE would put Ricochet on more often. He's the most
Doing
entertaining.
flips and shit.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be respectful.
I have thought. We got 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, let's we should wrap.
Yes.
how many times fucked up again?
What?
What did he do?
Oh, wow.
In the last 2
I
minutes?
didn't watch Rampage because I was coming here, and he had Ruby Soho choking out Farley, and the internet has lost their minds over it.
Oh, is it because? Oh my God.
So wait, why they mad?
They have Ruby Soho choking
Yeah,
out Farley
Oh no,
girl
it's like
over
the Rhea
over the
Holdings scene from Link
Oh.
But that goes back to like how AEW just like fails their women. They have something
Forever
good
and
in
ever
there,
fail
but
their
it's just
women.
like you guys are like Red Velvet's good. You know, it's like
Please.
Abaddon is fun. It's
Woman.
like-
I love
Right?
them
It's
so
like
much.
You have so many interesting swole they fucked over. It's
Oh
like,
my
Oh,
poor
they have
soul.
so many
Oh man, we're gonna need a whole other panel about this.
It's like they have so many good women and so much good potential, but yet at the end of the day, it's like Rick Baker, I guess, okay, whatever, bring her in.
Don't put that name on.
Okay, it's like cool, okay, whatever, sure, that's fine. And her gear confuses me because I don't know what it means. Because I'm like, ma'am, I don't know what your gear is supposed to symbolize your character or your person, but you're doing a lot.
She kicks people real hard with, and that's it.
Every
That's
woman.
really it. And it's like, okay. And it's like there's no really strong storyline for the women. There's really no like real powerful moments for the
No.
women. And it's like, okay.
Do more.
And they think every signing of a woman is going to save the division. Like
Right.
the people who
Yeah.
want
You can't put it
Mercedes to sign with AEW, like why? Why would you want that? Why
that
would you
is
want?
my thing.
Like why would you want to put her through that?
You want her to go there.
What's she gonna do with
What
her?
is she gonna do?
What are you
Who
gonna
is she
do?
gonna face?
We're gonna get a
Fight
recap
bunch of
video on Collision.
jobbers. Like we're not gonna we're not doing that again.
She's gonna show up on 925 every night.
Nyla Rose days,
The
they
queen of
continue.
the queen of Twitter, the only person allowed to use Twitter is Nyla Rose. So I don't think the
Yes.
Continue.
We didn't even get into Ring of Honor. Like
It's funny
Jesus.
for them not to use. I'm like, y'all, she's
Can I flex really quickly? I did a festival last year and Nyla Rose did karaoke at my festival. It was very exciting. Anyway, continue everyone.
I think we are.
I think that's.
Yeah, we are over.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
This was great.
Yeah, thank you all for coming. I'm really sorry we didn't have an answer for Wrestling Revolver. I feel really bad.
Oh
but-
no, trust me. I have my feelings are actually involved. Man.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things.
So mad.
We did
There's so
pretty
much
good.
wrestling,
Shout out
but
to
thank you
Ginger.
all for coming. This is where you can all find us.
Can we put on Ginger music? Wait, no.
What
wait.
is?
We
What?
have an outro, don't we?
We don't have an outro now.
Yes, we do.
No,
There is a song on that list.
Oh, I know what it is.
What is it?
The song.
It's at the bottom.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.